Hello and welcome back. Now, we all enjoyed Ellie Simmonds' success in the pool at the Paralympics in Beijing. Well, Wales has another potential medal winner, 14-year-old swimming sensation Jack Thomas. But we might never see him compete in London in 2012 because of a ban on athletes with learning difficulties. Tonight, he and his family tell us about their fight to overturn the ban so Jack can swim for his country. An early start on an ordinary street in Morriston in the extraordinary life of Jack Thomas, the 14-year-old with dreams to compete at the Paralympics. He's off to a training session, as always Mum Wendy drives him to the swimming pool.
We put him in swimming lessons when he was 3 years and 10 months, and he sat on the side of the pool and he screamed because he hated it. So the following week he went back and they put an assistant in the water to help him build up his confidence. And he actually started to enjoy it.
When I was younger, my mum put me in training because I was so active. I was really active and, well, they thought I had ADHD, but I didn't. So they put me in a swimming pool and that really helped. And, well, I got better then, so they put me into swimming coaches and stuff.
He was a bit hyperactive, to be honest with you. So we put him in the pool to burn a bit of energy off, but hasn't worked very well. We're still popping him in the pool.
Despite his hard work, Jack can't compete at the Paralympics. In the Sydney Games of 2000, the Spanish team cheated. Now the competition is closed to all learning disabled athletes.
I feel they've been left out in the cold. They're at the top of the game, the top of the classification, and they should be funded, at least, just to help them develop.
Jack trains at a club for the disabled his parents set up.
During the week, he'll be doing between 12 and 13 hours of actual in-the-pool work, covering 35 to 40,000 metres, which really is perhaps hit, if in real terms, from Swansea near enough to Cardiff, so he's swimming during the week that sort of distance.
Thanks to dedication like that, he now holds 3 world records.
I'm a lot different in the swimming pool than in school, because in school I'm not confident, but in swimming I am confident, so I feel really good in swimming. It's something to be proud of.
Jack doesn't compete in mainstream competitions because he can't learn the advanced techniques Olympic swimmers use. He needs special training.
This morning it's a fairly sort of short set where we're going to get a bit of distance in, but nice simple set on all 4 strokes. And I mean, for Jack, this is sort of an ideal set for his sort of swimmer's age, where we're covering some good distance, but making sure we're getting perhaps all 4 strokes in.
After a morning in the pool, it's time for lessons at Morriston Comprehensive School. To help him in class, he has an assistant, Mike Bollum, who's been helping him since he was 4.
He's statemented as having speech and language problems, which doesn't mean that he can't speak or talk, or but he has problems processing information. And that's why I need to help him to express and to reinforce ideas so that he can remember them, because what he tends to forget after a certain amount of time, what he's learned. So it's a constant reinforcement, really.
Leaflets aren't just about holidays, are they? They're about lots of things.
We filmed Jack in an English lesson. The pupils were asked to produce a pamphlet to persuade people to do something new.
Jack, as he normally does, he generally focuses on swimming, so he decided to do a leaflet about swimming. So he produced a leaflet and I helped him with the layout of it and tried to input some ideas to help him to lay it out properly and to get some good ideas,
Jack, back to you. With your swimming leaflet, what might that be able to persuade people to do? Not necessarily to visit your swimming pool, to watch you swim. So, okay, take that a bit further to...
swim, join a club.
Very good. So it's not just about being brilliant at something, it's also about persuading you to have a go. Okay, we're getting there. Fine. So we've got...
School finishes at 3 o'clock, but unlike his classmates, Jack's day isn't finished. He'll have more lengths to do at the pool. But first he takes some time out with his family before hitting the water. His parents' support has been very important to him.
By the time he was about 6, we were thinking, he's pretty good at this. So we looked for a swimming club to put him in to sort of increase his stamina, because, I mean, swimming lessons are only half an hour a week.
Well, he started off swimming for Wales when he was 9 years old, and then on to the men cap training squads, the GB men cap training squads, and then into the GB squad itself, which I'm very proud. He's great.
Well, it's really good. It's adrenaline as well, because then you're on that block and standing next to people twice your age. So yeah, it's really good.
Jack and his parents feel it's a shame he can't go all the way and fulfil his dreams of competing at the Paralympics. Wales this week has spoken to the institutions that govern Paralympic sport. Learning disabled athletes are represented by an international organisation called INAS FID. It's made up of different bodies in different countries. In Britain, it's the UK Sports Association for people with learning disabilities. We spoke to Chief Executive Tracy McKillen about what happened at the 2000 Paralympics.
Back in Sydney, it was the first time that athletes with learning disability were fully integrated into a full Paralympic programme. Unfortunately, a group of Spanish basketball players who were representing Spain in the Paralympic Games, some of the athletes within that Paralympic programme were not athletes with learning disability.
The International Paralympic Committee banned learning disabled athletes after an investigation. We spoke to President Sir Philip Craven.
When investigations were done, 69% of all medal winners across the different sports, which I think were table tennis, athletics, swimming and basketball, had not complied with the then eligibility system. Their paperwork either was not in line, and there was total mismanagement and misadministration by the INAS FID Federation. And so they were taken out of the organisation of the Paralympic movement for a time so that they could get their act together.
Despite efforts to get learning disabled athletes back into the Games, bad relations between the sporting governing bodies stymied any progress.
And unfortunately, we did not have a good working relationship. And really, all the efforts that we put in on behalf of the athletes, the INAS FID athletes, came to nothing, because they were just demanding inclusion without compliance with our eligibility regulations.
The organisation spent 7 years rowing over swimmers like Jack.
Gutted, but I know that I can still do well in swimming, even if I have to go Commonwealth Games mainstream, but I'll try my best.
We asked the president of INAS FID, Bob Price, about the International Paralympic Committee's allegations. He said he joined in 2007 and wasn't inclined to comment on the row. He did go on to tell us, "What motivates me is 1, that athletes who have a genuine intellectual disability have been excluded from successive Paralympic Games, and 2, a belief that the resolution will be found through cooperation between INAS FID and the IPC."
Comisiwn Cydraddoldeb a Hawliau Dynol, Equality and Human Rights Commission.
But the campaign has had some success. The family contacted the Equality and Human Rights Commission about the ban.
The Commission felt it was very unfair and felt that the policy was and the ban that was given was unlawful, and the Commission are looking into threatening legal action with regard to that.
Learning disabled athletes were also banned from the UK school games because they're modelled on the Paralympics. The Commission has been able to get that ban lifted.
We are trying to persuade them to overturn the ban for the Paralympics, as well as the ban that was overturned for the UK school games. And if persuasion does not work, we will threaten legal action against them.
The UK Sports Association for people with learning difficulties is also keeping up the pressure.
We are asking for government, for LOCOG, the London 2012 Organising Committee, for the Mayor of London to publicly declare that athletes with learning disability should be included in a full programme in the London 2012 Games.
Jack and his parents will now have to wait until November when the International Paralympic Committee make their decision.
I feel that there is still people who don't want the learning disabled people in the Paralympics. My worries are that this is just IPC going through the motions.
Well, that isn't the case, but I can understand maybe, because I don't know what sort of a story they're getting from their end. But I can absolutely assure you, and particularly assure them, and assure Jack particularly, that we are very serious about this. But what has to be understood is that the Paralympic Games is an elite world sports competition, and there has to be certain rules and regulations that have to be complied with. And now I can say there's a possibility that that will happen, and I would say a very strong possibility.
Tonight there's one bit of good news for Jack. He will definitely be competing at the UK Schools competition. It'll be held here in Wales for the first time in September, with events in both Cardiff and Swansea. Well, that's all for tonight, but do join me again for Sharp End on Thursday. The polls will have closed in the European elections, and we'll have the first news of the message Welsh voters will be sending at